Oh my god, are we on?
Is this happening?
This is happening.
We did it?
I can't believe we actually got this to work. This is the live 13 Q&A for the 10th anniversary of the film that we did together. 13.
It's really cute! We've been waiting a long time to make this happen, but Evan and I don't know how to figure out this,
obviously.
anything technical, tech-related, so can't even. This really did take a village.
It did. It's amazing that this is working. But thanks everyone for tuning in. Nikki and I have been giddy with excitement over this. And so we had to have a little shout out to Catherine Diana because it was her idea. She's the one that put the idea out there for us to do this. Right. And so here we are. I've written down some questions just to kind of get us started that I took from Twitter.
See if it's working. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't see. Are people writing questions there?
People are writing in the box.
Oh, they are there. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, hey everyone. Okay, we can see your comments in the box.
Yeah, keep commenting in the box.
And keep asking questions to hashtag 13Q&A or in the comment section.
Oh, I see all you guys. Woohoo!
Hey guys. Okay, so I wrote down some questions that I found on Twitter just to kind of get us going.
Okay.
That some of the fans asked. I guess we'll start with, there's some frequently asked questions.
I see that, your FAQ.
FAQ, yeah, a lot of people asked these questions, so I thought we'd just start with those. First of all, we get, were the tongue rings real? Quite a bit.
Good question.
Very
One was real. Mine. Which makes sense because the film was based on my story, loosely based, and the Tracy character was actually based on myself. So I kept my tongue ring and made it work for Evie also.
Mm-hmm. I was a little rascal and I wanted to get my tongue pierced, which I said was for the role,
Of course.
but really it was because I just kind of wanted to have my tongue pierced and my mother forbid it. So mine was fake. It was a suction, and I did swallow one.
Mm-hmm. I remember you having some issues
fact.
with that too, because it was like a magnet, right? And if it didn't line up, then it would.
No.
Magnet one?
No. It was like suction. You just slid. If you slid it on your tongue, then it
stay.
Yeah.
So I made that up. I
You
made
did.
up that whole memory.
You did make up that memory.
Okay.
So that answers that question. Okay, the other one we get a lot is, were we really hitting each other?
Really? I mean, obviously not intentionally, but did we have an accident of any kind?
We had some accidents, but we were not actually hitting each other. We were acting.
That was movie magic. But I think we had an accident with the piercing, the belly button piercing.
I got a bit of that needle in my belly button.
Why? Who let us use a real needle?
It wasn't real. It was a dull needle, and it had a blood pack on the end of it, so that when Nikki pierces my belly button, the blood would come. But I guess, I don't know, Nikki, did you just want to make it look really real? Or?
I think what I was doing was I was using my thumb. I remember using my thumb as like a divider so that I wouldn't go into your skin. And I remember trying to make it look so like I was putting a lot of effort in, and then my thumb slipped.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. Have I ever officially apologized to you?
You just
Probably.
did. But
sorry.
it was fine because it looked really real, and all for the sake of art.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what we got going on here.
Someone likes my hair. Thanks.
I love your hair. I wrote that, actually. I put that on there. Can we say hello to our Spanish fans? Hi, Spanish fans.
Hello.
Hi. Oh, thanks. The movie's still amazing even after 10 years. Thank you so much. That really means a lot to us. I think Evan and I both feel like throughout our entire career, that was a really defining moment
for both of us, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
It changed my life.
There you go. Evan, you're my role model. You saved my life so many times. Thank you. Is it weird being together after so long? It's not weird. It's like really exciting.
I feel like we just fell right back into it.
Totally.
This is what happened when we were falling.
We totally did. Evan and I, it's weird because we've kind of come full circle. We're both strangely like in the same place. We kind of were then, and we kind of are now, and we both went through a lot of stuff in between, and we've ended up back together.
Yeah,
like parallel.
Like everything's full circle. Yeah, I guess we should talk about. There's a lot of people. I should not assume that anyone knows who I am now or what I'm doing. I'm still working. I am now married. We're both married, so that's weird. 10 years later.
Not to each other.
Not to each other,
Sorry.
no, unfortunately. But we're both married. I have a child now, which is really crazy. So that's kind of the update. I forgot to mention where we are now.
That's where we are.
Yeah.
That's everything about where we are. It kind of is. Once you get married and then you have a child,
That's pretty much it.
That's where you are. Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
what should we answer some more of these?
Yeah. Well, there's the gibberish question.
Neither of us, we just discovered this at lunch earlier. The gibberish was real. Was that the question?
Well, people were wondering what that weird language is that we're speaking in the movie, and it's called gibberish.
It'd get what it gets, could have called, should have given it a go.
Yeah, what a guy. And I can't believe we still remember how
I
to
haven't
do
done
this.
that in 10 years. What a gal. That a gal would a good bit of gee would a geared, and a guess would a gee would a girth, that a gilf, that a geek it again, should give it a gird, a guess to go at a gar for against the gal.
Wow. So there you have it.
Wow, that was an incredible experience. We saved that for this exact moment. I was hoping I could pull it off.
Yep.
Oh my god. Yeah, that was like a language that kids invented so you could hide things from your parents.
That's exactly why it was
Things
invented.
around you.
Yeah. So we are actually understanding each other and speaking gibberish.
Right.
In case that was another one. Okay, another thing that we get a lot is how did we relate to our characters?
You have a little hair growing in your eyeball.
Oh.
I don't want you to stab
This is
yourself.
a friend.
Okay. How do we relate to our characters? Okay.
That's loaded. Well, I think I didn't realize how much I related to my character until I started doing the film. And I was suddenly in touch with a lot of pain and anger that I hadn't dealt with. So this movie was a really great way to work through a lot of that, I think. Because I think most teenage girls will agree that being a teenage girl is not a walk in the park. No, it doesn't matter who you are. I think you're going to have ways that you're going to relate to both these characters on some level. So I drew a lot from that, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the most magnetic qualities that the script had, the story had, was that it was real. And it wasn't difficult to relate to anybody in the film because, in a sense, we've all lived that to some degree, not necessarily to the extent that the girls did, but to some degree. Even if you feel like the brother or the boyfriend or the mother's friend who was in AA and a single mother with a 4-year-old or whatever, I mean, to some degree, I think everyone kind of was able to relate. I had an interesting experience because, well, it was my first film, and acting wasn't something that I had explored at all prior to that movie. In fact, the way I was cast, I don't want to assume anyone knows this, so I'm just going to tell the story again briefly. I was actually reading with girls who were auditioning for the roles. I wasn't just automatically put in the film. And in fact, there were 2 other girls, not us, that were initially cast as Tracy and Evie, and then I got this phone call from the producer one day, and Catherine Hardwick, and I thought I was like a casting associate. I thought like that was cool enough to be like, to be in 8th grade and be a casting associate and a co-writer, and like, that's so groovy. Did I just say groovy? Oh my god.
Wow,
Anyway.
it's been 10 years.
But I remember getting a phone call and them suggesting that I play one of the characters, and I was mortified. I mean, I didn't even know, that was like such a daunting task. I didn't even know what that would require, and Evan and I think in a sense, without her knowing it, she kind of like took me under her wing and showed me the ropes and made me feel comfortable. We worked with her acting coach, with Andrew, for a few months leading up to it, and I think the most important element of the movie was our friendship and our bonding and Holly Hunter's bonding, her involvement. That's what made the movie what it was. Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, well, I think what I loved was that, and what I also loved about Catherine was that she really let us go. I mean, because when you and I got together, we just had a connection immediately, and this energy that sparked from the two of us, and so it was very, I don't know, I think watchable immediately. Before you had been officially cast, we got together with Catherine and a video camera, and Nikki and I, remember? And Nikki and I started running through a lot of the scenes, and I think that night, did we have a sleepover that night at
Probably.
Catherine's?
That sounds about
Yeah,
right.
and we ended up staying at the director's house that night and staying up all night giggling and laughing, and...
Do you want to have a sleepover tonight, by the way? Is that what you're getting at?
That's exactly what I'm getting at. But I remember feeling with you, especially knowing that the movie was kind of loosely based on your story, that I could open up to you in ways that I hadn't really opened up to anybody before, and I think I immediately felt, yeah, like a friendship and a kinship with you. That was different, and so I think that's kind of obvious when you watch the movie, and I think it was obvious when they then showed those videos to whoever was in charge of that decision, that there was something with the two of us that was kind of undeniable and worked for the movie, right?
I love it. Everything about what you just said.
So there's that.
Oh, we just got handed some questions.
Yeah, those are quick, some of mine too.
Okay, do you think the movie's message is still current? From @Naples63. Yes, I do. I think at the time, I think certainly now we're a society that's very oversaturated with like shocking content. I do feel that. Wait, did something happen?
I was just making sure it was me.
Oh, okay. I think that we're overexposed to a lot of things that are shocking right now, and so I think that as a culture we're kind of numb to that. But I do think, so at the time this movie I think was groundbreaking because it was kind of the first of its kind. And now I feel like although the message is still very, very relevant, and I think the issues are still very relevant, the issues that the girls were going through, I think that this movie would maybe get lost if it were released now, let's say.
I'm not sure I agree with that.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, let's debate.
Well, no, I mean, there's no real debate. I just think, I don't know. I don't know if I...
I just feel like there's so much that's put out there right now that's like that like the whole purpose behind it is to be shocking, and that wasn't what we were trying to do or what Catherine was trying to do. We were trying to tell like an honest story, but
I think that's what sets it apart, is that there is all the shocking stuff and the eye-catching stuff, but you see the other side of it, you know, what's behind just the shock value. You see the pain and the hurt and the family behind it, you know?
Well, then I suppose I would just change what I said to, I would hope that it wouldn't get lost because of that. Because there's just so much out there. But yeah, I mean, I would just hope that it would still be recognized in the same way, because it really did, I think, a lot for, it's strange, because 10 years later, I think we can both talk about this with a different kind of perspective, where we can talk about the movie and not feel like, wow, weird that we're talking about ourselves, because it's so far away from us now. I feel like that movie did a lot in terms of communication and families and mothers and daughters and all of these things that I would hope it would still do today. That's how I feel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. You want to do that one?
Yeah. I like this question.
Okay.
Do you want to do that one?
Yeah, you do it.
Okay. Pull it up my question. Okay, Rebecca at Muffins Planned.
I love that so much.
I'm planning on some muffins. How do you compare the view you had as teens and have as adults of the film, and what new perspective has adulthood given on the movie?
Okay.
So what new perspective do we have of the film now that we're adults?
Ooh. Well, you're a mom.
Yeah. Whoa. I guess that's what I look at differently now when I see the movie. I look at Holly Hunter's character, Melanie, slightly different. Because I think when you're a kid or a teenager, it's, you know, when you reach the age of a teenager, you start becoming more aware of your parents' faults. And I think for most people, your first reaction is to get incredibly angry and hurt, and you don't really think or care about what their story is. You're just really angry that they've let you down in some way, or that they've hurt you because, growing up, your parents are kind of superheroes, they can do no wrong. And then when you suddenly realize that they're people, it can be very jarring. But I think now I look at her and I go, wow, okay, she's an AA, she's an alcoholic. What was her story?
Right.
Why, what was her life like growing up and as a teenager with her parents? And why did she feel like she needed to drink? And why she had to expose her children to that? And why she obviously has taste in men that might not be great for her, that also traumatized her children, that it takes a lot for a parent to put their kids through things like that, because they have their own story, and that's why it's a vicious cycle, and why people of this generation need to break that cycle and to be more aware of what you're doing and how it affects your kids, I think. That's how I look at it differently, and I also that's how I look at it differently, I guess. I think more about the cycle and the parents.
So just to comment on that, I feel like I have the same approach to that, except it was my family. And so what was so hard for me is writing or being a part of writing something that that felt so powerful, yet with perspective I realized was so one-sided. And as a child, your whole world is one-sided. You don't see things from, and it's not your job, by the way, as a child to see things from your parents' perspective, and to understand. But to see this film come out and to see the effect that it had on my family, who, by the way, everyone in my family took this like a champ. I mean, everyone was so supportive. They just wanted something awesome and creative and therapeutic and artsy and beautiful for me. I mean, they were so behind me. But I had no idea what it felt like to be portrayed as they were from such a kind of one-sided perspective, which is the child's perspective, which is never really accurate, which is the beauty of the story, because it was kind of inaccurate, because you felt the energy and the spirit of seeing the story through a child's eyes, through my eyes, because of the writing, but also how painful that must have been for them. So, okay.
Did you want to do one of these?
Oh, sure. Okay.
My phone.
You could probably answer it. Okay, say people.
That's not a question.
Oh.
That's just a note.
No. That's all. Say people's names when answering questions. Yes. Okay, so Jess Good, at Jess Good. Where would Tracy and Evie be today? Well, my answer to that would be, I think Tracy and Evie, as much as they were like these characters that became viewed as, because we made a movie about these characters, it seemed like they were glamorized or set apart from what a normal kid would be. But I do still stand by my theory that Tracy and Evie are kind of representing the every girl in a sense, not with specifics, not necessarily everything they're doing, but everything they're feeling. And I kind of was a Tracy and maybe an Evie, and you kind of were both of those too at different, and this is where we are. So I don't think there's one like specific path that either of them would have taken.
Yeah, hopefully they came out of it.
Yeah. Okay. Your turn.
I have this one written down as well.
Oh.
I guess this is weird for me. I don't know what that is, so I'll just... Okay, DMO at DMU.
DMU.
It says, what was the most difficult scene for you to shoot and why? Well, it's pretty obvious, isn't it?
Which one for you?
Oh, really?
We didn't go over any of this beforehand.
We didn't talk. No, we got together beforehand to actually talk.
We ate.
We ate, and we just caught up on life and didn't talk about this at all. So, okay, well, I don't know. For me, it was the last scene in the film. It was the big last scene.
Yeah.
We had to shoot this movie in 24 days. 24, 23, something like that.
25. We got an extra day.
Oh, that's right.
25 days.
Which, in movie time, is incredibly short. And at the time, we were minors, and minors can only work about 9 hours a day.
Right.
And that's no time to film a movie, but we somehow managed to do it. But the only scene that we got to shoot for an entire day was the last scene in the movie, because it was obviously the biggest one. And that was the hardest, because I think to this day I haven't broken down like that on camera ever. Because I remember just blacking out, like I just completely blacked out. I have no memory of even really filming that last scene, because I think my brain was completely convinced that it was really happening, and I just lost it completely. And I just remember after we got to the part where Holly and I are hugging and we hit the ground of the kitchen floor, I have no memory, and then I just remember hearing cut, and I remember feeling arms grab me and pull me into the other room and cradle me for what seemed like an eternity. And I think I thought it was my mom or something, and then I remember kind of coming out of it, and it was Catherine, it was the director, and she just scooped me up and basically had to rock me back and forth after that for some amount of time, I don't know. So probably it was so intense. So do you remember how intense that day was?
Yeah, I remember. By the way, I saw on Twitter, and I don't have the handle name. The question really stuck with me. Someone asked, why was Evie crying in that scene? To kind of follow up on that, it was so intense for everybody that I reacted in that scene like a human being would. And if I had been, I think, more of a trained actress at the time, I would have held it together, because why would Evie cry? This isn't Evie. She's probably enjoying this. But I was so affected by Evan's, I don't even want to call it a performance because it was so real. I was so affected by everything she was doing and giving, and it was so heavy that I was just crying too, and angry at Holly for being a mom for the first time, and why isn't she Evie's mom, and why am I not in that? And I remember, Catherine was really good at Catherine makes everything feel very real, at times probably too real, and she was giving me all of that too, and I was really emotional as well. But did Evie need to be emotional? Probably not.
I don't know.
It wasn't written that way, and then it became that.
Sense. I mean, it's a pretty emotionally charged experience.
Yeah. And kids,
everyone involved. And kids, yeah, and
you just do. Although we thought we were such adults, like at the time. It's so funny.
We were so funny on that set, because Nikki and I were, we were both 13 and 14, and
she's older than me, by the way.
I'm like a year older.
Yeah, totally.
But we were totally sneaking the fake cigarettes off of the prop truck.
I know, we thought that was like,
and we thought we were so cool, and
they're fake.
They're fake. I know, we're not even smoking real.
Did you know that they were fake?
Yeah, well, they're.
I must have known too. So.
Yeah,
they're called they have like a name and a packet. Anyway, we were sort of living this movie. Not fully, but yeah, in a way.
But I even feel like we became such good friends immediately, and then while filming, I feel like the film kind of trickled over into our real lives, because I remember at times tension, there would be tension between us, and we wouldn't really know why, because nothing had happened. I think
this is why children shouldn't be angry.
This
is where this stems from. It all gets so sticky.
But I feel like we were so into it that at times we would be kind of living the movie.
Totally. I remember, I actually don't remember if it was you or me, but I remember the costume designer actually bringing that up at one point, going you guys are feeling really competitive with each other with who's gonna wear what bra and who's gonna wear what outfit.
It was always with the clothes.
It was always with the clothes.
We were so typical
about 15-year-old
girl.
Yeah, I mean that's what that was the reason for my existence at that age was clothes,
So weird.
Wow, it was what it was.
It was what it was, yeah.
We were the best of friends. We were best friends.
We also, another thing I loved about doing this movie is we filmed in a real house. It wasn't a set. So you and I and Holly were allowed to go and stay there. And and sleep in our rooms, and we got to even set up parts of the house. We got to like set up the kitchen. We put food away. We put dishes away. Do you remember that?
Yeah, we
So
lived
that
there.
we lived there
Yeah.
basically. Yeah, and like Nikki and I would sleep in Tracy's room and like cuddle all night,
Totally.
and we were totally
Yeah.
close.
And I was like so excited to have such a cool best friend that, to me, also because I'd never made a movie before, and I don't know what your experience was, so I'm not putting words in how you viewed it, but for me, I viewed it, like having never done this before, as like that wasn't like prep work to me. That wasn't like, oh, let's do this to like get into our characters. It was like, oh my god, how cool that we get to like sleep in the same room.
Yeah.
And live in this house together, and we get to miss school, and we get to, I mean, it was like the best vacation ever.
Yeah.
None of it was about acting, none of it was, you know what I mean? It was like the weirdest prep ever. Now, since then, doing, I don't know how many movies I've done, and you as well, it's like I've never had that kind of just organic experience.
No.
Ever.
Me neither. I've always longed for that because of this movie.
Okay, that one's for you because it says to Evan, so I probably shouldn't answer it. This one is from,
Macarena?
no, that says, definitely doesn't say Macarena. It says, MKACINEFILO, Mackenzie. Did you stick to the script or improvise?
Wait, what kind of
That was my shoe. That was really
that really was
that
your
was
shoe.
really weird. That was my shoe. Oh, let me just.
That's what happened.
Get it together.
This is what it was like. Someone wants to know what it was like working with Nikki? This is what it was like.
You know what's funny is as I get older, I realize that I am my mother's daughter. Like, if my mom were here, she would have laughed so hard at that. Okay, should we stick to the script? I think we did. I think what happened was we had a week of rehearsing, right? In the house. So we did, we went through the script, and I think all the little notes and things that were going to happen happened then.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, certain scenes were improvised. Like, I remember
We didn't really have time
we didn't have
to
any
rehearse or anything. on
Yeah.
set.
Oh, yeah, that's why,
Yeah.
I'm sure that's why we did that, right? But the piercing your tongue scene in Venice, all the scenes that look like we probably didn't have permits to shoot in those locations, we definitely didn't have
did
permits
not.
to shoot in those locations. So that was all improvised because we didn't know where we would be. Like, Catherine would be like, hey guys, now you're going to walk down Hollywood Boulevard, and whatever you think Evie is thinking, go for it. And that was, yeah. Remember all the stealing of the money behind Skechers and all
Oh yeah, all of it was just kind of just go and do it.
Yeah,
which
the
is
tattoo
why-
parlor, the piercing parlor,
Yeah.
that's all improv.
Yeah.
But I think the scenes where it was like really dialogue heavy, that was all scripted, and we worked out whatever needed to be worked out before we got there.
Yeah.
Because you have to understand, like, I think, is my memory right? We did a lot of this in like 1 or 2 takes, right?
Yeah.
There was like
Oh
no
yeah. I
time.
mean 3 at the most.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah.
3 was the that's pretty much for everything. Like 3 was luxury. Let me see. What do we got? Oh, hang on. I like this one. Michelle Rubio.
Oh God.
Evan, did you have a crush on Nikki during filming?
It's really uncomfortable. What are you going to reveal right now?
I think that's a really interesting question, and I did. I had a crush on you.
Well, there you go. She's waited 15 years.
And I waited 15 years
12 years to tell me this.
to tell Nikki that.
Only you had told me sooner. We could have ended up. Uh-oh.
You're back.
We're back on?
You're back.
All right, we're back on. Sorry about that.
Are we back on?
We're back on.
Wait, let's see. Are we? Oh, they're back.
They're back,
Okay,
yeah.
they're back. This is a good question, actually. There have been from oh my God, I have to get really close to see that. From it's Henna? Yeah, it's Henna. It's Tina. There have been a lot of misconceptions of Nikki's involvement with the script. How much of it was you? That's a great question. So I was not a writer. I wasn't. I didn't sit down and write a script. There's no way I would have even. I mean, now at 26 years old, I still struggle. Trying to better myself as a writer. But at the time, Catherine, Hardwick, the director, had been writing a lot, so she had written a number of screenplays, and for whatever reason, timing or whatever, things just didn't work out. And I remember her coming to me and saying, I want to write something with you, because she saw, I mean, my writing was what got me into better schools. It was what I loved. It's what I felt comfortable with. It was my greatest form of expression. And so Catherine came to me after seeing that I'd been writing in my journal, and she said, I want to turn this into a movie. And the collaboration was very kind of straightforward. She sat at the computer, she would create a structure, and I would basically write the dialogue. And she would have me act out the scenes with her, and then if there were things that we couldn't get through, like, okay, where should we go next? How should we, what's the next thing that should happen? I would just start talking and telling stories, talking about what was happening in my household or with my dad, and so it was a really unconventional collaboration, but that's exactly how it happened. So I definitely did not sit down and, like, at 13 years old, write a screenplay. I was just the voice behind it. Yeah. Okay. Does that make sense?
That's
okay.
perfect.
I got really gnarly in the camera right now. That was my shoe again. Okay. Sorry about that.
Do you have more?
Nope, the answer is.
Okay, wait, let me see. All right,
I
I
have
have
some. Oh, that's done too.
I have some. Okay, Alex Taylor
Okay.
writes, after the movie was done filming, did Evie and Tracy stay with you guys?
Oh. Okay.
I can say that I caught myself after a shopping spree coming home after the movie was done, and I was putting my clothes away like da 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 da, and I remember looking and going, oh my god, like I had gotten no, I hadn't stolen anything. I had got like Evie and Tracy clothes. Like I even had a shirt that like laced up in the front, like the ones that we wore with the belly showing.
Oh god, those were the worst. Like the best worst.
I had those, and I was like, oh no, I've taken the character home. And I would catch myself like going to a friend's house and like having the clothes on underneath the hoodie, and then when I got there, like taking it off, and I had to
Oh yeah, totally.
yeah, right. And so that was weird.
Yeah, that was weird. That was weird for you.
That was weird for me.
I had a totally different experience. I ended up moving out to live on my own when I was 15 years old. Not for any crazy dramatic reason, by the way. I felt like I was capable of being an adult. Had I known that I could have had 3 more years of no bills and no responsibilities. But anyway, in hindsight, I wish I'd stayed at home. But I lived a very responsible life, and so I had no time. Believe it or not, it was a really painful experience for me because, not to get like too deep or emotional, but I was very much labeled, when you're a part of a movie that's marketed as being autobiographical or based on your life, you're immediately associated with the face, the who you portrayed and who that was. And there were so many articles coming out, headlines that were like, Nikki Reed, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And I remember specifically like how shady journalists were like totally taking advantage of me because I'm kind of like an open book. Like I love to talk to people, and I love I love the experience of like making new friends. And I remember like I had no publicist, I had no representation, and I was doing all these interviews being marketed as like the crazy teenager behind this movie, and I was actually a surprisingly good girl. Like I just said to Evan before we started this, I said, you realize like all the making out that her and I did in that movie, like all the rehearsing for that, that's probably the most kissing I had ever done at that point. Seriously, even though...
So yeah, in case you're wondering, we totally practiced making out in my trailer, so that kiss looks good.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, we did.
That's what she's saying.
That's what when I say all the making out, and then everyone's saying, that's weird.
Yeah,
there's
only one making out. Yeah, we practiced and we blocked out what the kiss would look like, and they didn't even use the kiss that we blocked out, and I was upset by that. So anyway, continue. You're saying all the making out that we were doing.
Yeah, all that making out was like the most making out I had ever done, and I was somehow being labeled as this like super crazy bad girl.
I don't know if anybody knows this, but the media will take advantage of you in interviews. Isn't that weird?
Yeah,
How they
so
will
crazy.
twist things.
Well, it was to benefit, I guess, the movie, which at the time, you know, it was like everyone was trying to get everything out there and have it feel as shocking as you know, as the poster and this. It was all about shock value, and I was, it's not that I was the victim in it, I was just part of that machine. I got like sucked into that machine. Evan had a team around her and people protecting, or more so protecting your image, and you played Tracy, the girl who was kind of taken advantage of in the movie,
Right. You were more like
the bad influence, and it was hard for me, and it was hard for my family to like watch that happening.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's horrible.
It was really horrible.
We'll talk about it later.
Well,
if it makes you feel any better, I had a lot of pressure on my shoulders after that because I was skyrocketed into like fame and media and stuff, and I was not ready for it, and it was also
How can you be?
very hard, and everyone, I did have a team around me, but they were all telling me who to be, and I didn't know how to be myself, and I was very insecure, and it was also hard.
Yeah, it's just a different level of, I guess.
But I'm very sorry that happened.
Yeah, it was painful, but thanks. I'm sure it was for you, too, the other way around. Kids are not ready for any of this. That's the moral of that.
The moral is like, it's a lot. Yeah. It's a lot, yeah. Well, let's see what else we got.
Okay. Alright, I've got some too. Fire 17. Okay. You want to take that one?
Okay. At Fires 17, it says, how does it make you feel when people tell you that this movie changed their lives? I could not be happier because, like I said, this movie was so low budget. We filmed it so quickly. While we were doing this, we had no idea what this was going to be. At least I didn't. I had no idea that it would be what it was, and to this day continue to be what it is, and to grow and to reach more and more people. I mean, it's amazing to me, and I couldn't be prouder because we all worked really, really hard and really were passionate about this and cared a lot about it.
Yeah.
And I think we wanted to be as honest as possible, and I think we were, and that's why it did what it did.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say when people say that it's changed their lives, because it's so hard to, even when it's a positive thing, like be able to take responsibility for what the true meaning of that is. You know, it's like, wow, I somehow was a part of something that touched someone somewhere, and that's like a really incredible feeling that I don't think I know how to absorb at all, properly or at all. But I think that's so amazing, and it's probably that movie is probably my greatest accomplishment, probably will always be.
I'd have to agree with you.
So, yeah, so thanks.
Yeah.
For anyone who says that and all of that. Elizabeth, 5555. What affected you the most or changed your perspective on life after filming? Ooh, these are getting really deep.
Yeah, we're getting into deep stuff now.
I don't
I
know.
think I kind of had this question. How did the film affect you in the long run? Yeah.
Gosh,
we
kind of
just
touched
did that
on it a little bit. I don't really know. I think I've always felt just, I mean, for me, for obvious reasons, because of how close I was to, the backstory, I always just felt like so incredibly connected to this movie that I almost feel like nothing can like live up to that for me. Maybe it was the experience, maybe it was Evan, maybe it was our friendship, whatever it was, this movie has really like stuck with me and lived with me.
Mm-hmm.
And also, by the way, this is one of the rare, we're still talking about this 10 years later. I mean, I know right now, literally, we are talking about it, but like in interviews and things like that, this is still brought up. And so I guess in that sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you want to read that one?
I'm not really sure. Oh, I mean, why didn't Evie and Tracy stay friends
Yeah,
at the end of the film?
Stay friends. From Menzie _Ari.
Well, I mean, was kind of a toxic, codependent friendship, I think.
Right. Which a lot of young
Not-
girls experience.
Not healthy for anyone. Yeah, it was obviously causing more harm than good, I think.
Yeah.
They had too much baggage.
At such a young age.
At such a young age, yeah. Okay, this is from Nikki Reed, UK.
Oh, okay. What do you hope people have learned from watching 13? Wow. What do I hope they've learned? It's so strange to go into a movie or talk about a project and hope that there's like a message behind it, because I think
sometimes you don't want to tell people what to take away.
or you just hope that people see it.
Right.
What's your greatest hope for this movie? That someone sees it. No, I think I hope that young girls know that they're not alone, and that they will be okay, and that everybody comes from in some sense, everybody comes from a messed up family dynamic. I mean, all of these things that you go through when you're young, that I'm now watching my little brother go through. He's in 8th grade, and I'm kind of watching him relive this. Kids are mean. They're mean to each other. They're mean while they're figuring out who they are. They're mean to their parents. They're mean to themselves. They're mean to other people. The kids can be really brutal, and a lot of times I wish I could take the young Nikki, my little self, and go, oh, I wish you could see what the rest of your life, that life goes beyond this bubble. Yeah, the most painful moments of my life when I was in, junior high school, and just go it's gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. So that's what I hope girls feel, is that they're not alone in that feeling.
I don't know. I think what I've always thought, and even when the movie first came out, I think a lot of people said, okay, what do you want teenagers to take away from this? And is this about scaring teenagers? And it is, but for me, it was also a huge message to parents, and to scare the parents more, and as more of a cautionary tale for them, because I think a lot of parents find themselves in a situation where they seemingly have this very normal, well-adjusted kid, and then they become a teenager, and then they just go crazy, and they go, oh my God, what happened? They seemed fine. I don't understand. And if you look at just Tracy's story in the movie, from the very beginning, her mother is, in AA, and was obviously an alcoholic. So right there, that child has been asked to grow up much quicker than she needed to, and she's obviously taken on a lot and taken care of her mother and kept it inside, and she still seems okay. That's been asked of her. The boyfriend ODing in front of her. I think another huge issue is girls without their fathers, and because a lot of fathers think, well, it's a girl. Why does she need her dad? What am I gonna do for a girl? It's a huge problem, and I think fathers really need to know that your presence in your daughter's life is very, very important. You are the first relationship she's going to have with a man that's non-sexual, and if she doesn't have that, then, like in Tracy's case, she will feel unwanted, and especially by men, and she will go seek that attention in other ways and with the wrong kind of man and the wrong kind of attention, and that's a big problem. And I think parents need to also, she comes from a divorced family, so you get the sense that there was probably a lot of fighting and a lot of hardships in her house surrounding her at a very young age. So she was a perfect candidate for this, because her life leading up to that point was obviously very traumatic, and there was a lot asked of her. And then you become a teenager, and your foundation is broken. Your dad's not around, your mom's kind of a mess. You're not really looking up or respecting either one of them, so where are you going to look? You're going to look to the world. And as a woman, if you're looking to the world for who to be, you're getting all the wrong messages, especially from the media, especially from television. It's quite frightening what we're telling women to be and how to get love. It's a serious issue. So she's a perfect candidate for that. And then you go into school where the pressures of fitting in and wanting to belong and wanting to be loved, you know, which everyone goes through. But if you have all these odds stacked against you already, then it's the Molotov cocktail of what 13 ends up being, you know. So I think parents, please be more aware of what you do in front of your children and what you ask of them at a very young age, especially girls, because once they hit 13, you lost them, you know. Then it's kind of in their hands. So you got to hope that you set the groundwork.
Although it's really never too late, because
it's
when I
never
was
too late.
younger, I didn't have the best relationship with my dad, and when I decided that I wanted to make an effort too, and not just shut him out, we became really close. And I mean, my dad is like, I mean, both my parents were, I mean, my mom lives in our guest house. I mean, we're very close, also proximity, but all very close. But my dad's my best friend, and it's amazing to think that we voluntarily formed that bond. So he really stepped up and made an effort, and so did I. And I mean, my dad and I, you know, we talk all day, every day. We have dates like 3 times a week. We try to hang out and go to the movies, and so it's never too late.
No,
so okay.
It is never too late.
I'm just gonna get all these. get them all. Evan, what do you think? Well, Powell Juna B wants to know what you think about a remake. Maybe a sequel is what you meant.
Oh right, yeah. A lot of people have asked.
Maybe a sequel. I don't want a remake. Sequel. Can you imagine if we just did a remake? Wait, let's just talk about that right now. What if we just did a remake?
You and I?
I mean,
well, that wouldn't make any sense. Or we got a couple people to do a remake. I don't know. Maybe like 30 years down the line, someone's going to be doing a 13 remake, and that's going to be really interesting.
Oh God, I hope we can.
But it would have to be different because you know the world's changed. Because now 13 would be filled with like Facebook and like all kinds of social media and bullying on social media. And I was talking to my little sister about that. And
how old is she again?
She is 9.
Oh, she's younger than me.
Do you know what kids do now? They don't make fun of you to your face. They go on Facebook and they make something that's called a burn page, which is
your 9-year-old sister is a
yeah, which is basically a page where people can go and make fun of someone without having to own up to it or do it to their face or see the hurt they're causing them. They literally just go, oh, there's that geeky kid or whatever, and then they go into the page and they go, you're fat, and like that's it. And that's how we make fun of kids now. No responsibility, no like. It's crazy.
Yeah, there's something to be said about freedom of speech, by the way, because
what?
it's like that was meant for a different. I mean, it's all so like faceless. And
yeah, I'm all for freedom of speech. If you're gonna own up to it,
exactly.
If you're gonna put a face
whole
to
different
the
world,
horrible things you're gonna say.
And by the way, we are saying like, oh, you're fat, and when I talk about like those faceless people that say stuff about, let's say, you know, us or me or whatever, you go, yeah, I don't really care. That stuff hurts. It hurts, and so I can't imagine. I mean, when
especially hurts
being a kid.
Teenager.
Oh God, yeah, being a child and seeing all that. I mean, it hurts me, and I'm an adult.
Yeah.
And I want to pretend like it doesn't. I'm a little embarrassed that I've just totally revealed how vulnerable I am. But yeah, I can't imagine being a kid now. I guess is.
I can't either. Oh my, I can't. Yeah,
because it was really painful
It's
then,
so
but it was like
painful.
girls were like doing things to you or so you could. But I guess they were talking about you.
yeah, you
so
just
kind
hear
of,
someone talk behind your back. I couldn't go, but I get. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess.
It's a whole other way of like empowering yourself to be able to do something on the internet and then
not have to take responsibility.
Yeah, I mean, it's
not have to see the
But also,
consequences.
by the way, now I'm going to bring this up. I think that we're breeding a culture of children who don't understand
Empathy,
because normally, like, you say something to somebody's face and you watch them, how it affects them, and you watch them cry, and you go, oh my God, that hurts me too, that I've hurt this person, and now we're just able to hurt people without having to see how it makes them feel, and it's creating a person, I think, that's lacking something.
serious lack of empathy.
So now we're going on a whole anti-bullying. Oops, what happened?
Oh, we got a screensaver happening.
Did you guys go away?
Wait, someone's just gonna type in their password. Really
No problem.
Please keep talking.
Yeah.
You have the best laugh, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
It's your adult laugh.
My adult laugh?
Yeah, like, you know, when you have our thing, like, as an adult, your laugh is turned into another, and it's such a good laugh.
This is a controlled laugh.
No, it's not controlled. Wait, what's happening? Should we
Okay,
look
we
at
have new
these?
messages, yeah.
New messages. Neither can I. What does that mean? Did you see?
Oh, someone says that we need a talk show.
Should we do a talk show?
We should do this every week.
Oh my god. See, Evan's laughing. Look, people are saying that you're laughing too. You're laughing so great.
Aww.
Okay, here we go. Okay. Were you nervous about working with Holly Hunter from Mia Crusader? Oh, Mia Crusader.
Oh, got it.
Yes, I was very nervous. In fact, there we go. You just got an alert, Courtney. You're having a dinner in 5 minutes.
Oh, lovely. Gotta go.
Yeah, I was very nervous because my first scene ever. This is my first day on a set. First scene, first moment stepping onto a set with an actress, a real actress, an Academy Award-winning actress, and it was the scene with Holly Hunter, where Evie tells her that she's being abused by her mom's boyfriend, and first scene ever.
Oh,
and I don't
man.
know if that was like a test. I don't know if that was like, let's just get this out of the way, or if that was a test, but that was the most terrifying moment of my life, probably. Okay.
Well, yeah. Oh, okay. This is from at Shut Up Cece. Is that what that is?
Shut up, sissy.
That's
Shut
it.
up, sissy.
Shut up, Cece.
Okay.
Yeah. someone trying to say
Okay,
something.
answer that one.
Okay. And they are saying, what does the ending, Tracy spinning, mean to you? Well, I think when we did that, we talked about it, and
I think we did.
I think it was kind of more representing, I don't know, how she felt, that she was spinning out of control, but it was also, she's on this playground, this like kids playground. It's very reminiscent of a childhood that is spinning out of control, and I think that was just her releasing anger and all the pent-up emotions that she's had. She's just, that's how she feels inside, that she's spinning out of control, and that she's screaming at the top of her lungs and no one's there to hear her.
Sorry, I was just really excited about, I just realized that all these
Questions are on the
Hey
side.
Evan, blink twice if you love Brazil. How many times did you blink?
I blinked.
Gosh. Nikki, when do you want to have children? Oh boy. You know, Evan knows that this is a big topic all the time.
Do you have the fever? Do you have the fever?
It's like I have like a little bit of the fever always. It's like the fever it's like not spiking, you know?
Yeah.
You need
just a steady fever.
I don't know, I'm so afraid of having children.
Well,
This is part of our personal talk show, and then now we've got
sorry, we're getting into a whole other thing. Let's get back to the.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. We both have awesome laughs. Oh, that's very sweet. That person must have felt bad for me. How was, I can't hear anything. Oh, sorry. Are you guys going to work with Catherine again? I've worked with Catherine a number of times. I did Lords of Dogtown with Catherine, and then I did the first Twilight movie with Catherine.
What's Twilight?
Oh, God, it's this, tiny little, it's sort of like for a niche.
I can't wait for the comments. What?
With the delay, yeah, they're not gonna see your so yes, I think we all approach, I think that we all approach our film making decisions and our, path with what you respond to. So if Catherine, she's made a number of films that I haven't been in also, but when she does something that I feel I respond to and they're interested in me and I'm interested in it, it just becomes, it just works out. It's great.
I almost worked with Catherine again, and my schedule did not.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Sorry.
Now we can't say what movie because then it'll
I know,
be weird.
because
But
now
I
it's
almost
weird.
did music for that
You know what I'm
movie.
talking about, yeah. So
You do know.
So I really want to work with Catherine again. I think she's great,
We
and I
both
think
do.
she's super talented and free and just a very amazing soul. So I would
What
love
if we
that.
write something together to bring... Okay, this is also part of our talk show. Alright.
Now I'm very conscious of my laughter.
Nikki, has Paul seen the movie? What does he think? No, don't be conscious of it. It's beautiful.
Well, no,
I
I'm
meant it in the best
not self-conscious.
Oh,
I'm
just conscious
I'm
of
just
it.
hearing it for the first time.
When I met Paul, he had never seen a single, he didn't know that I was an actress. It's all part of what makes him so beautiful. I love everything about that. And for the longest time, I didn't want him to see anything because I just wanted us to be, anyway. Also, but side note, I'm very self-conscious about, just innately self-conscious about things. You just feel insecure showing people your work. It's like I don't sit down and go, hey, you want to watch some movies I'm in? But I did tell him to watch 13. He asked me and then I said that was okay. So yes, he's seen 13 and I think it's the only movie he's seen that I'm in.
Aww.
Okay, this thing keeps coming up, but I think this is still working,
Well,
so I think we're okay.
So,
Okay.
Whoa,
88
do you want
new
to start
messages.
wrapping it up?
Oh.
Because we are at an hour.
Oh, great.
Not like we're just going to end it now, but...
Yeah, like in the next 2.5 hours.
Start
to bring
we'll
it
go
down.
all night.
These are so entertaining. You guys don't understand because you think it's probably boring that I'm just reading all these questions, but it's so entertaining to see these. Look at that, Evan.
What?
Do we still catch up with each other regularly? We are now, a lot.
Yeah.
The last year, we've been really making an effort to... Weird things happen when you work in this business. It's so strange because not just with friendship, but with relationships and life and your family, like you get sucked out of your world and put somewhere else where you're supposed to have like new friends and new...
Yeah, you're gypsies. You're just constantly going from
and you
place
have
to
to
place.
really make a conscious effort to maintain
Friendships.
solid friendships. Yeah,
Mhm.
not the kind that's like, hey, how are you, goodbye, but to really have like that kind of connection, you have to make that effort. Otherwise, people disappear. And But Evan and I had a real revelation recently. We both did. Somehow the universe, aka Twitter, brought us together, and we realized that we needed to be in each other's lives. So we missed each other. So now here we are, sitting on a couch together, talking about the birth of our potential talk show.
Well, we'll be tackling more social issues and...
Totally. Okay. Do you want to answer any of these? I'm just scrolling through a little.
Let's see.
What are your thoughts about the film perpetuating cliches about teenagers? That's kind of an interesting question.
Well, I'm...
From pretentious...
Cliches are cliches because
They
sometimes
exist.
they're very
Yeah.
true,
Yeah.
They are very true. So,
Yeah, I agree with
there's
that.
that.
Did you ever think the movie would be as successful as it was? I'm just rifling.
Yeah,
through
we
some
kind
reasons.
of... I don't know. I mean, we might have we worn out our welcome?
Possibly.
We may have. I'm shocked that no one has noticed my Marilyn Monroe Darth Vader shirt. I just want to throw that out there. That's all. That's all I wanted to say, really. That's why I'm here.
Evan, do you want another Bieber video? That's my own personal, I wrote that actually. Talk about the crush again. I wrote that too.
Talk about it.
No, someone named Olivia wrote that. Okay.
Because I guess we didn't really wrap that up.
Okay. What was your initial response to each other? Were you friends? We were friends right away. My cat is watching you. Okay, that's cool. Hi, cat. How did you react about the Oscar? Oh, probably Holly's. I'm talking about Holly's.
But, wait, what?
I mean, they're coming in really fast.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even see what...
What was the no bra, no panties scene about? Yeah, what was that about, Evan?
I don't know.
What was that about?
I honestly don't know.
To this day,
To this day, I don't think I know what that was about.
Well, I'll tell you, I think my end, it's like anything that Tracy could possibly do to like get in her mom's face, to just like rile her up, to just like freak her out and just push the envelope. I think that was what that was about. It was like,
yes.
let me
Well,
just-
I understood that.
Yeah.
But I guess I didn't really. Was it a song or like?
Yeah, it was
just
a song.
It was a song.
Yeah, but why she was saying that in that moment, I
Oh,
think
okay.
that's that, right?
Yeah. No, she's trying to traumatize her mother. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it worked.
And it definitely works.
Yeah. I'm still really traumatized by that scene. Close my eyes.
I get a lot of people saying no bra, no panties to me.
Oh, walking down the street like your waitress maybe or something.
Yeah.
Make an album together. We were just talking about that at lunch. At some point in the near future, when Evan and I learn how to use technology, or when our lovely friends over here, Shane and Courtney, allow us to, we will do a Ustream. Is that what this is called?
Ustream.
We're going to do a Ustream of us singing together.
We will. So
And
you
I
have that to
really-
look forward to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that might be it.
And do you think you could sing a Justin Bieber song for me? No, I'm asking you that.
Oh.
For real this time. When we do our Ustream. What was going through your mind when you first watched 13? Gosh, I remember going to a lot of screenings and feeling
Nervous.
like it was, nervous, but also like it was really painful.
It was very painful. I can't watch the movie anymore. I genuinely, I have such a reaction to it when I
I
watch
get
it now.
hives a little bit. Like
Yeah.
my body, I
It's
get.
too
Yeah.
intense for me to watch it. We did it. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Evan, when are you gonna meet me face to face? I don't know how you Do you ever consider changing career paths? That's another thing that Evan and I just discussed at lunch. I consider it every day. I'm always exploring other things. I'm still, it's strange. It's like people don't understand. I'm still figuring out. We're all still figuring out who we are, right? As life goes on, as we're evolving and changing, and I'm always trying to learn and grow, and I'm still figuring out what I might want to do for another chapter of my life. I mean, I do love my job. I do love acting. I love playing different characters and stuff, but I also love designing, and I love writing, and I want to be a better writer, and I want to direct one day, and I have things I want to do. So. Want to learn how to do. I'm always
all
going
the
to
time in the
school.
world.
I studied psychology recently.
Nice.
At LSU. I'm still figuring stuff out, That's what I meant. Okay. Oh God. Okay.
Oh, 13 10-year anniversary.
How cool is Evan for wearing suspenders, by the way? I just want to be able to wear some suspenders so bad.
You can wear suspenders.
Thanks, honey.
You're welcome.
Ah.
I had fun doing this.
You need validation, you just call Evan. I had a lot of fun too.
We had so much fun.
Yeah, so if you're not sick of us, we'll be back next Wednesday. No, I don't know.
Yeah,
but we are going to do this again at some point.
We should definitely do this again. Thank you guys for your questions.
Thank you very much. Is this really over?
I think
Okay, so,
right?
okay,
I feel like
okay.
I don't want to end it. No, am I being?
No, you're right.
Everyone on Twitter wants to hear about the crush because that's when it cut out.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. We're getting demands.
Demanded.
We talk about the crush because it cut out right when we were talking. It must have seemed like we did that on purpose. Actually, when it cut out, we were making out the whole time. I'm so sorry that you missed it. No.
That's crazy.
No.
Okay.
That moment. Okay, and then this is a good way to wrap it up.
So the question came in, and they said, Evan, while you were filming, did you have a crush on Nikki? We have never discussed it.
We've never discussed it. I thought now would be a good time to mention I did have a crush on Nikki. I don't think I realized at the time that it was like a full-blown crush, but I definitely remember having feelings and thinking she was so beautiful.
Oh, God.
Because we're kind of like opposite.
No, we're so opposite.
So it's always, you love what's
Like
the opposite of you, you know? And so I just thought you were so gorgeous and like fun and there was something about you. So I did have a crush on Nikki, and I think part of it was but like a lot of, we talked about this, relationships you have with girls when you're a teenager. There's a part of you that wants to be them, there's a part of you that kind of hates them, and there's a part of you that's kind of in love with them. Like, you kind of have a crush on this person. It's like a mixture of like emotions, and I think it was kind of all of that. But yeah.
This is crazy. It's like one of those giant reveals right now. Like, we should just take us and like implant us onto the Maury Povich show where like for 15 years and here it is and then
Here you go.
and then you were gonna propose and then it all got
No.
yeah, I think a lot of young girls not to devalue that, but
No,
a lot
but
of
I think
young
it's very
girls feel,
common.
yeah, like
Very
very
common.
because your first girlfriend, like friend girl, is kind of represents your first time like exploring love and what it means to love someone like that outside of your family. And it's not necessarily sexual, although your body's like going through all these crazy things. So sometimes, I mean, Evan and I were talking about this, like the most making out I had done up to that point in my life was with Evan in this movie, and and that was my first time like experiencing, you know, what that was like. And so then you have all these crazy feelings and things that are happening, and it is all mixed into one.
I think it's common. I think a lot of girls get crushes on their best friends and girlfriends, and probably a lot of their first like kissing experiences and stuff is with your friends.
Right. That's what that scene was based on, by the way.
Exactly.
Two young girls
Exactly.
being like, hey,
Exactly.
we should try this.
Right, of course. This movie is about how it really is. Yeah.
No,
so
but
that's why
what
it was
we
in there.
were. Yeah, and it's weird how we were kind of like mirroring.
What we were doing.
Yes, and without knowing it,
Without
like
knowing.
calling it like practicing, like, oh, we should probably practice the kissing scene before we do
But
it.
I think we also kind of wanted to kiss each other at the same
yeah,
time.
I was like, what's this gonna be like? This crazy foreign thing. And so we were doing exactly what the girls were going through in their minds at the same time. And I'm just realizing this now.
Yeah.
Good thing we decided to circle back around and talk about the crush thing.
There you go. So by popular demand, that was the story of the crush with no cutting out. So there you go. There you have it. And that was that.
And I'm so happy you told me that, Evan. It's going to change how I now view myself and us and
that movie. And
we were just two girls in love.
that's it.
The Evan and Nikki Show.
The Evan and Nikki Show.
So seriously, thank you guys for tuning in, I guess is what you call it, and for all your questions and your insight and your curiosity, and for still like supporting this movie 10 years later.
Yes, thank you so much. Really,
Yeah.
it means the world to us, and this movie means the world to me. So thank you, and thank you.
And thank you.